Hi Flosstube. It's been a little while again. Nice to see you. No, I can't see you, but you know what I mean. I am here to make another video, a new update. My partner is home right now. I've never done this with someone else in the house, so it's a little, I feel awkward, but now that I don't work from home, I never get the house to myself, and if I didn't do it now, it's never gonna happen. So I'm filming this on a Saturday afternoon. I have this whole next week off. I'm so excited. I'm going to Lake Tahoe for 4 nights, leaving tomorrow. Looking forward to it. Hope to get some good stitchy time. But before I leave, I want to make this video and update you guys on my progress. I have a couple finishes, I have several new starts, and I have a ton of haul that I want to show to you. And enjoy it. So, let's get started. So, my first piece I just finished last night. I already posted this on Stitch Mania and Instagram, so I'm spamming you guys, but I haven't had it finished in a couple months. This was not a whip the last time I saw you. I started it since my last video. This is Elise by Snowflower Diaries. I should put something behind it. There we go. It's Elise by Snowflower Diaries. I stitched it on 25 count, 1/1. It's linen I picked up at a garage sale. It's very uneven. It's a Zweigart, I think. Just a raw linen. And yeah, I think she's cute. I just thought this pattern was so cute, and I thought it would look cute in like a 4x6 frame, just a small piece. And I got through the box of color. Yay! There's 2 gentle arts, which are the parts of the dress, and then everything else is DMC. And then my big finish is Tapestry by Ink Circles. Finally finished that bad boy. And there we go. That's my finish. This is on a 32 count raw linen from Witchell, and I used all of the called for Gentle Arts threads. They're just beautiful. I love the colors, and I love the way Tracy Horner designed this. She's just got such a good eye for that. I didn't think any of the colors needed to be changed out. I just love it the way it is. And I ordered a frame off of Amazon, 14x14 frame, which I think it'll fit in, and I'm going to get this framed. Really pretty. I was glad, by the time I finished it, I was glad I was done with it though. A lot of work. A lot of color changing, but worth it. It was enjoyable though. This one's a whip from last time. Elizabeth. I'm doing Elizabeth the First. This is from New Stitches magazine. All the designs from Mary Hickmott. This is number 16, and it's got Queen Elizabeth I in black work and in cross stitch. I'm doing the black work version. Still in the Q-snap, but here you go. This is where I'm at on this. This is a 32 count even weave, and instead of doing the dress in black, I'm doing it in a Threadworks color, no, a Needle Necessities. I don't have it right here, but it's like a red, variegated red. And then I've got, let me do a little close up here. This is a Petite Treasure braid in gold, and then I kind of outlined those gold squares with black DMC, or anchor black, not that it matters. So I am still working on her dress, the bottom half of her dress, before I get to the top. And I like working on this. I said last video it's slower going than I thought it would be, but it doesn't, you know, I still like it, but it will take some time. I started Crowns of the Kingdom by Rosewood Manor. This is stitched all in Petite Treasure braid. I'm sure you've seen the beautiful one that Ginger Gerald Stitcher did. I loved that and wanted to do it myself. So I am stitching this on purple. This is Royal Purple. It's a 36 count 36 count Edinburgh linen and royal purple from Hand Dyed Fabrics by Stephanie. I got a start on there because really nothing says welcome to our humble home like a bunch of crowns stitched in metallic on royal purple fabric. I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm like, where am I gonna hang this when I finish it? But who cares, right? It's beautiful. It's gonna be so glitzy. Probably can't see it through the camera. Seeing how glittery it is made me really want to see Gerald's in person. It made me really want to see Abby's Nightmare in person. It's because it's 36 count and it's metallic. Not as smooth stitching as other projects, so I had to kind of get used to it. It's not bad working on it, but it's not, I'd say it's probably not as relaxing as the other ones. It's not stressful, it's just, I don't know, metallic, 36 count. It's just a little tight fit. But it'll be pretty. Again, it's not really something that fit my home, but I couldn't resist. I couldn't resist. I love my royals. Okay, so that was a new start. This one is a new start as well. This project, oh, I love this design and I've been wanting to start it and I finally said starting it because I got it kitted up. This is Halloween in Hollyberry Farm by Stacy Nash Primitives. So this is the picture. I just want to talk about the picture for a second because it kind of threw me off a little bit in that I don't know if you can tell this through the camera, but these flowers on the picture look dark blue and the petals look bright white. It almost has like a blue tint to a lot of the piece. And then the fabric was, let's see, it's a 35 count R&R reproduction linen in 18th century rook, but it's walnut crystals, darkened with walnut crystals. So the fabric's kind of dark. So I wanted something a little lighter because I felt like there's a lot in here that you can't really see because of the darkness of the fabric. And so I did that. So I'm doing it on Dapple by Pictures Plus, 36 count. Here's my piece. Now the petals, you'll see, they're not that bright white. They're a more muted white. And then, like an off-white, which is fine, makes more sense, but it does kind of, I don't know, it would have, I think, affected my fabric choice a little bit. Also, the flowers are charted in carriage black, which is like this color right here. Oh, you see it better in the funeral urn. Sorry. This is what the flowers are charted for, which isn't blue at all. So I'm doing it in a color called Wrought Iron from Gentle Arts, which is a very, very dark blue and black. It's really pretty if you see it in person. It's kind of hard to tell stitched up. It kind of looks like black flowers. But so I changed the color of that. And I kind of wish I'd done it in a slightly darker fabric. Here it is so far. I'm about 1/3 through the piece. I'm just stitching a crown right here. Needle minder from Emily, Jimmy Flosstube's wife, I mean. So I'm about 1/3 way through the piece. It's 6 pages, and I've almost done with these 2 pages. I do love it. I'm fine with my fabric choice, but I think I would have gone darker. Had I taken some more time and looked at the threads and seen what they look like in real life. So it's kind of a good lesson, I guess. But yeah, this is a 36 count. I'm doing the alphabet. I like the alphabet on this one. It says boo and eek, and it's really cute. And I love working on this piece. I really enjoy this one. So yeah, Halloween at Hollyberry Farm. Wouldn't it be nice to finish this by the time Halloween at Hawk Run Hollow came out? But I think that's coming out next month in September. I'm very excited to see that. This won't be done by then, but doesn't mean I can't start that one too if I really like it, right? So yeah, that's probably my favorite that I'm working on right now. It's very cute. And then this next piece, I had made that a while back. Watch my videos. I'd made a Outlander piece for a friend of mine, and another friend. The two of them are totally into Outlander series, And the other friend was just loved it and wanted one of her own, and I thought that, and I wanted to make her happy and make her one because I like her a lot, and it was so sweet of her to show so much enthusiasm over it. But I didn't want to make her the exact same piece, and I couldn't really find another pattern I liked that was smaller in size. I didn't want to make like the whole Outlander sampler or anything. So I kind of Frankensteined a couple patterns together. Well, basically I wanted a piece that would say, I love the laird. I love the laird, if you don't know Outlander, but you won't know what that means. But, and then I wanted a pretty border around it. So the border I'm taking from An Autumn Afternoon by Barbara Westhoven of Westwind Cross Stitch Designs. This is from one digital magazine, Gift of Stitching. And I'm just using the border. And then I took an alphabet and charted out the words, but I haven't stitched those yet. I'm about halfway through the border. I'm stitching this on 40 count, 1/2, with DMC. The grapes are like a variegated DMC, but they're all DMCs. So I'm about halfway through the border, and then I'll put the words in there. I'm doing a 40 count, so it'll fit in a 5x7 frame. And I think it's coming along cute. My next whip, I'm doing the second in the Chatelaine mini garden mandalas. There's like a pattern that comes with 3. I did the first one about a year ago. I decided to start up on the second one. Stitching May's stitching this too. She doesn't know that we're doing a Sal, but we are stitching it along with her. This is where I'm at on the second one. Real pretty. Working on the fences. So that's coming along nicely. I've just been like kind of nutso stitcher lately. I've just decided I'm going to start what I want to start. I was being so good about only having a few projects, and that was great and all, but I found I was thinking all the time about the other stuff I wanted to do, and it was kind of putting pressure on the stuff I was doing, which I don't like. I just want to enjoy what I'm doing. So I figured I can enjoy my stuff more if I start things when I really want to start them. But I don't like starting new projects. Like I don't like the actual starting, like having to, make sure I iron my fabric and like making sure it's straight on the Q-snap and finding the starting point and getting everything set up. I'm a little lazy for that. So that keeps holding me back a little bit. But I'm not being strict with myself right now on what I start. If I feel like my whips get out of hand, maybe I will then. But for now, I'm good. So I'm enjoying that. And one project I've been wanting to start forever, and I did it up, and I was like, why am I still holding off? Garden Fair by Courtney Collection. I just love this pattern, and I love the colors that it's charted in. It's just black and this tulip color and it's like a belle soie. It's a beautiful red, variegated red, and it's a big piece, which is one of the things that helped me back. I am stitching it on 40 count to keep the size down a bit. I'm stitching it in the silks, and I'm doing this on a Lakeside linen in angel hair. And I have a little bit of a start. So let me talk about this piece. This is where I'm at. So I don't have a lot of experience stitching on 40 count. I know that you stitch 1/2 on 40 count, and that's kind of a lure to me because I figure I love the neat, cute, tiny stitches. Like they're so neat because you only got one thread, etc. Like that other one I showed you that I've been working on. So I love that idea, especially in a piece where I'm going to be working with silk, because then I don't need as much silk. So I started working on this, and that's the tulip color right there. Let me just show you the pattern again so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, it's just like this corner up here. So I did that little red in the corner, and then now I'm working on the black around it. This is the Belle Soie Classic Colorworks tulip thread. And then this is the black silk that it calls for. It's on the spool, and I stitched up like this part with it, and it was just horrible coverage. Like I couldn't stand it. You know, it was like half the coverage it needed to be. I was like, well, I can't do the whole pattern like that. So screw it, I'm gonna buy the Belle Soie in Old Crow, which is black, okay? So that I have the same coverage for both threads, and it's even. So I stitched, oh gosh, all of this, bunch of this stuff in that. But then I still wasn't happy with the coverage. So in the end, what I did was I went over my X's with another leg in the black, and then I've started stitching this down here. Now I'm coming up here, and I'm doing it 2 over 2 on 40 count. And that's where I'm confused because everyone does 1 over 2 on 40 count, it seems. So I don't know what's wrong with me. If I just really just can't, I don't know. I just didn't like the coverage. I could see through the black, and I don't want to see through the black on this piece. I'm gonna stop holding it up. Because you can see like the black is solid black here, and I feel like that really does something for the colors on here, and it's part of what I like about it. This isn't like a primitive piece where it might not matter to me as much if the fabric's coming through, and the fabric that I'm doing this on is a light color. So yeah, I'm wondering if any of you ever had that experience. Do you ever do 2 over 2 on 40 count? Because it's really thick, so I'm not loving it. It's silk, so it's not like stitching with a ton of cotton in each hole. It's going okay, but it's definitely kind of brought taken some of the wind out of my sails on this piece, I guess. Just because it's so thick, and it's not that I'm worried I'm doing it wrong. I think the right way to do it is to do what makes you happy. It just feels a little weird. I think maybe I'm just a 36 count person. But I love 2 over 2 on 36 count. But I was hoping to do 1 over 2 on 40 count. But maybe I'll try like a more primitive piece with cotton, 1 over 2 on 40 count, and see how I like that. But for this piece, it'll have to be 2. The red is 1 over 2, and I'm okay with it. But I might stitch it. I haven't decided if I'm going to stitch the red 1 over 2 or 2 over 2. I'm okay with the coverage, but I don't know if it'll look funny. I don't know, so still working on that. But it is a beautiful piece, so I do want to stick it out. Worst case scenario, if I really, don't love this project, I can take the bands out, But I do love the whole piece, so we'll see. I was putting the, hanging like the extra black silk over my needle minder here, which is Delicious Threads. This is a Fairy Godmother. And it rubbed up against the fabric with the magnet. Not good. It's above the piece, but still. Something to keep in mind. So that's my last whip. There are other things I want to start. Stuff I've kitted up. Stuff in my haul. But that's where I'm at for now. If you like haul, I got a lot to show you. If you like judging people who buy a lot of haul, this one's definitely for you. I have 0 regrets, though. I'll tell you that right now. I am not ashamed. I am not embarrassed. I don't feel guilty. I am loving it. I would be okay with spreading all this out on the floor and just rolling in it. Okay? So, join me in the enjoyment of haul, if that's your thing. Because this is officially haul! Okay, so in no particular order whatsoever. Something I've been wanting for a long time. A shop I've been wanting to shop at for a long time. And I kept myself from it during Stitch from Stash, but I told myself when it's done, you get to go shopping. Victorian Motto sampler shop. I'm sure you've heard Suzette from the Primitive Stitcher talk about it. I know Natasha uses the threads, and there's bunch of other people out there. She hand dyes threads, DMC, cotton, And she does them in 20-yard skeins, which is the equivalent of 2.5 DMCs. And they're beautiful. And I wanted to try some. And she's got an eBay store, but she also has a website, like a blog. Now you can go shop for everything on her eBay store. That's what she has available. But I recommend ordering directly from her through her website, or you just where she has her email address, and you can email her directly, and it's a few dollars cheaper because she doesn't have to pay the eBay fees. This lady, is it Nancy's her name, I think? She is super nice. She is all about, like, she does giveaways practically every day on her website. She is all about saving people money. She's not out to get you. Not that other people are, but she's awesome that way, like giving you a discount if you order directly from her and all of that. So I think the flosses are a really good deal. So that being said, I shopped her collections. She has a bunch of 12 skein collections up there. Once she sells out of them, that's it. I don't know if maybe she redoes them sometimes, but she comes out with new ones pretty regularly. The one I really wanted is called Hearthside Collection, so I bought that. I'm going to show them to you guys. She boxes them up really nicely, but of course as soon as I got it, I destroyed that. So this is the Hearthside Collection. You can see they're really big skeins. And I know you won't be able to see the colors as nice if you're in person, but I think that's a good representation. Got some really vibrant colors in here. And this whole collection is like $26, $27. And you get 12 skeins that again are the equivalent of 2.5 DMCs. I really like the autumnal colors, as you call them, you know, like these kind of colors. These are like my favorites when it comes to stitching. I love like the browns and golds and oranges and stuff. So anyway, so those are beautiful. I love those. I'm really excited about those. And then I also bought one of the Victorian Motto kits from her. She's got a ton of these. It took me a long time to figure out which one I wanted. This is how it comes. So it comes with all the threads. It comes with the perforated paper, and then on the perforated paper, the design is drawn on there. And this is what it looks like when you're done. So it's not cross stitch. It's like a satin stitch. I'm looking forward to stitching this up. It's a welcome sign, so I want to put this in my entryway. And then she sells frames, and you could switch these out. So I would love to have a frame and then switch these out, like Merry Christmas, Happy Thanksgiving, that kind of thing. But I talked to her about ordering the frame. She has this kind, which is like more of a regular kind, and then she has a slightly more ornate one, and she looked into the shipping prices for them out to California, and she was completely honest with me about prices and said, look, it's not really worth your money because the shipping, it's just gonna be too much. So really it'd be more like if you live in Indiana, I think she's in, so like Lana or Stephanie, then it would make more sense. So maybe on my end I'll be able to find something. I didn't open this because I wanted to show you guys what it looks like, but now I can. So here are the threads. It looks like there's pearl cotton and the DMC version, or the cotton that she dyes. She said that you can choose your own colors. By then, I basically ignored her when she said that, because by then I had spent so much time looking through the threads I wanted in my collection and then looking through all these Motto samplers. So I was like, if she tells me I can do any color I want, like, it's going to take me forever to decide. And these colors really are beautiful. So these are the colors for the pearls, and these are the regular cotton colors. So yeah, it's really pretty. Looking forward to that. I also joined her Primitive Threads of the Month, Primitive Floss, or Primitive Limited Editions, I believe they're called. And you get 6 a month. Primitive Floss Club Limited Editions. Show you those real quick. These are also beautiful. More autumn colors. So yeah, those are really pretty. You can do 6 a month or 12 a month. It's 6, huh? So much restraint. This is so pretty. Wine country. It's like a blue and wine color. Oh, or blue, brown, I mean. I love this. This reminds me of pumpkin pie from Gentle Arts. Okay. Just got this, I think it was yesterday. I ordered Ship's Manor. He's doing a primitive fabric of the month. It's not a club yet. You can just go to his website and order it. And I ordered a piece, and this is so beautiful. It just says August Prim is the color. It's just really pretty. It's like a dark swampy kind of green with some yellow in there. It's beautiful. I wish I'd ordered an even bigger piece, but I have nothing in mind for it. I could frame this, really, just frame this fabric and put it on the wall. I think it's so pretty. That would look really good with these colors. Like that. Ooh. Anyway, so that's beautiful. That's the August fabric, primitive fabric of the month. He has a regular fabric of the month too. But the primitive ones are a little less variegated, less muted, or a little more muted. Okay, so someone wanted to come in, but you know, now he's not so sure. Dusty, come here. He does that. If I like call him by name, then he'll just like completely ignore me. Okay, well, I wanted to pause with the stash because, or the haul, because I remembered I want to, well, first my my phone stopped, but then I remembered I wanted to show you some project bags I made. So if you look up like quilting fabric on Etsy, which I do not advise doing if you haven't already, there are so many beautiful and adorable freaking fabrics, and I did this like last year. It was in October. So I bought these fabrics in October, and I have so far managed to make 3 project bags out of them in like 10 months. I'm very slow and lazy, but I wanted to make front zipper project bags, and I found a tutorial on Craftsy, a free one. I will put the name of the class and the teacher on the screen, and I played around with the size of the fabric to make it something that would fit my 11-inch Q-snaps, and something I could make with half a yard of fabric of both the outer and the lining each. So I figured that out finally. I've made 3 bags. Here's the first one. I think these ladies are awesome. I think it's a Melody Miller fabric. That's a cute lining. This one is just freaking adorable, and I love these colors. This is a Halloween one called Boo. It's these little girls in cat masks. I love them. I love the flowers in between. They're adorable, a little bit creepy. And then I have these little ghosts inside. I think they're so cute. You can't really tell, but they're just like a little bit glittery. So I love that one. If I was faster, I would send you one, Emily, but I'm so slow. I need to make a few of my own first. Emily has been making these with her mom, and she's putting trim there, and it looks so nice. I would love like some black lace right here, but I didn't think of that, and it would have taken me even longer. I'm really not much of a seamstress. This one is like a funky one. I just saw it, I was like, oh, that is fun. I want one with that fabric. It reminds me, my sister said it reminds her of Mary Blair art. It reminds me like Wonka Land for some reason. This one's got this fun fabric. I also made little, Michelle from Cozy 8 calls them, scissor jails that go with it. Hey, they're cute. So I love these. I have a bunch of other fabrics, of course. I have some more Halloween fabrics, and then, just other pretty fabrics I want to use. So I just need to take time, you know, but ironing and sewing, that stuff is like not as relaxing as stitching. So I'm slow with that. God, this guy is like Lazy bum. Alright. It's my boy. He's like his mother. My friend Maddie dyed me a piece of fabric. I traded her my Noel sampler pattern, and she hand dyed me some fabric. I got the good end of that deal, for sure. I mean, I love that pattern, but anyone can buy a pattern. Not anyone can dye fabric. Is it 32 count? Oh, look, Maddie. So pretty. I love it. It's like, in person, it's kind of like someone spilled, it's like a, kind of like wine stain almost. Really pretty. I can't wait to use that. I love that. So impressed by everyone who does hand dyed. So pretty. Okay, there's that. Now this pattern is one I want to start soon. So I sometimes I get these urges for things I want to stitch. Like I really had that strong urge to stitch a lavender and lace angel before I did, and then I chose Angelica and I loved it. Lately I love medieval tapestries. I'm not gonna stitch a tapestry. If I knew how to do that, that'd be awesome. But I've just been wanting to do a medieval type piece. I love the one that Stephanie Massoso Crafty is working on. I think it's like the Maiden and the Unicorn, something like that. But she works so hard on that, and she talks about how much work she's put into it every time she shows it. And I'm like, I don't think I could do that. And then it's just too much work, but it's beautiful. That really looks like a tapestry. I love the Chatelaine has some great ones too. I'm just not looking to invest that much money and time at the moment. So I just wanted something a little more simple that I could do, and I found this one. This is from Counted Illuminations. I think it's from, 1993. It is a medieval garden. I'm picturing this like on a dark blue, like kind of like a medieval garden at night, and I think that'll be pretty. It's got a lot of DMCs in it. I don't usually stitch these pieces that have like a ton of different colors in it, so I'm looking forward to that experience, see how that goes. But I think that's really pretty, so I think I'll probably start that one soon. I'm not patient enough to like order a hand dyed for that, so I think I have some navy in my stash that I'm gonna use. Okay. So there's a lot of stuff here that's from Stash and Load and eBay. I'll tell you where I got stuff as I show it, if I remember. Okay, let's just go through. This is from Stash and Load. This is the Streets of Newport. You're gonna see I have a lot of little buildings in this haul. I don't know why. I think they're so cute, and I've just been had the urge to stitch them lately. This is I like these Tidewater originals. They're just these cute little streets. And I was looking at them on eBay. I was like, I want them cheap. And then they came up cheap on Stash and Load. You just have to wait, be patient. North Main Street. This is like just stitched in black, and then it's got like pops of color. I think that's pretty cute. It reminds me of San Francisco. I love Victorians. We have a lot of cool Victorian houses around here. And then I've been wanting some Debbie Patrick's, especially after watching Halle, from Halle's Stitching Studio. And, Debbie Patrick did a lot of Victorian houses, and she did a lot of stuff in the Bay Area, actually. Anyway, the one I would love the most is the Winchester Mystery House, the one that Halle stitched. That has sentimental meaning to me because I grew up about 45 minutes from the Winchester Mystery House. We used to go there on field trips in school. I've been there as like a later years teenager too. It's not as cool as when you're a kid, but they do have nighttime flashlight tours. I would love to do that one time. But other than that, it's not really spooky because it's like a tourist thing. There's like tours going through. They're making a movie out of it. But I do love that. I love that house, and I love just the wonder of it. When I was a kid, I've always loved the idea of haunted houses. Not the kind that are going to kill you. Anyway, I would love that one day, but it hasn't come up like for an inexpensive price, or it hasn't come up at all really for me. And I wouldn't pay an arm and a leg for it, but one day I'm sure it'll cross my path. But someone was selling these for cheap on Stash on Load, and I liked these two, so I picked them up. This is St. Charles Avenue in New Orleans. Sorry if that's not how you say it, Southerners. You know I want to be one of you, so teach me your ways. And this is Morton House in Hamilton, Missouri. The person who sold it must have done it. This is really pretty. I like that. I like the colors and the grass and the trees in there. Really pretty. This one I've been tracking for a while on eBay, and someone was like posting it for 20 bucks, and I was like, I don't think that sounds right. And then sure enough, it came on Stash and Load for like $2 or $3. It's Main Street, USA, Houses of Yesteryear. I think these are so cute. I love these. This is Tidewater Originals too. This is like pristine shape. These are, yeah, hand-charted ones, so God, it's just so much harder to read when you're used to like the way they are now. But I'd like to stitch something from there, of course. I want to stitch all of them, obviously. This is from Stickedin von der Weyenberg. I think it's the one. That's the same designer that did that lion one that McKenna just stitched. But this is Bird Quaker. I like it because it's a nice big Quaker piece. I wouldn't do it in these colors, but I like the birds and the trees interspersed with the flowers and the Quaker pieces. I think it's really pretty. This is I never know how to say this. Reflect de Soie. This is like, some of these patterns are ones that like came up for so cheap that I was like, yeah, I can do something with that, but I probably wouldn't pick out normally. That's the mistake. That's when you're like, at what point are you going to stitch something that you kind of like? I don't know. It's pretty. So, it's one of those things that eventually you'll probably go back on Stash and Load, but it's pretty. You never know. Sometimes my tastes change. Oh, and then this one, I was so excited. This came on Stash and Load for a really good price. Amanda Ampy Stitcher stitched this. It's so cute. Baba Yaga. It's so cute. And hers is, if you haven't seen hers, I'm sure you have. It's adorable. So I saw this, thought of her, and I was like, I want one of my own. So I want to stitch this one day. So cute. Oh, I'm so happy when this one came up on Stash and Load. I've been wanting this one for a while. Garden of Erie. Michelle Cozier, when she showed this, I hadn't seen it until she showed the finished product quite a while back now. So it was on my wish list for a long time, and then it popped up for a few bucks. And the same seller was selling Fishes and Bait. It's kind of funny. It's like a play on Adam and Eve with mermaids. And it says, fishes and bait, when a woman marries, then troubles her fate. And as 15 years as a happily unmarried woman, I like this one. Guilty pleasure. So that's cute. I love my Dickens. So I got these came up super cheap. Dickens Christmas Village. Dickens Christmas Village 3. They have springtime Dickens too. They're cute. I don't know. You know, you can stitch them on perforated paper and make a village like that. Growing up, I always bought my mom the Dickens Village pieces. They don't make them anymore, but in the past, I've hauled the book that has the patterns. I haven't stitched any of those, so of course I need some more, but no, they're cool. I like those. In the Berry Patch. I just think this is, I don't know, I saw this and loved it. I also like that on dark blue. That was cute. This is a La-Di-Da. Live, Laugh, Love. I do those things. That was dorky. This is a pretty work basket pattern I hadn't seen before. Pretty flowers. It's a cushion there. There's so many patterns I see. I'm like, oh, let me get a lovely cushion. Halle from Halle Stitchy Studio. Big fan of hers, if you can't tell. And she makes these beautiful cross-stitch cushions. And every time she does that, I'm like, oh, she must have her house must be so different from my house. Like, that, okay? Can't make this into a cushion without being okay with like so much dog fur, you know? And then it's like you can't just throw it in the wash every month, you know? So I don't know. one day, but like I'd rather have my dog than a pretty cushion, but like there's gotta be a medium somewhere, right? Ooh, next purchase is from Jen's Stitching Niche. She has a channel. If you have not watched it already, go check it out. I didn't know she had a channel when I bought these. I had seen her shop on Etsy because I'd searched for Jenny Bean's Halloween sampler, and she had it, and I had it on my wish list, and you guys know this pattern. I'm sure you've seen it plenty on Flosstube. I love this one because I think the quote is it just makes me smile every time I read it. When I am dead and in my grave and all my bones are rotten, if this you see, pray think of me or I will be forgotten. I think it's the rotten part makes me laugh. But my friend Maddie got it, and I was like, oh, it was like the straw on the camel's back. Had to get it too. And while I was there, she had, I've got these Brenda Gervais Sampler of the Seasons on my wish list, all 4 of them. She had spring for like good price, and she had a little blurb about how she loved this one. And I was like, oh, you're coming home too. I also bought several pieces of fabric that I've put away. Mostly just solids. But very good shopping experience. And then I got the package, and on the receipt it said, I enjoy your videos. It's like one of those moments like, oh, me. But I was like, it was so cool. I was like, what? You see my videos? And then Emily mentioned that she had a channel, and so I went over there, and she's got great videos. She has like 100 whips, and they're all stuff I love. Like, she's got similar tastes. Her shop makes her shop like bad news because it's all like Brenda Gervais and Kathy Barrick and Shakespeare's Peddler and like so many good patterns in that shop. And she's just awesome. Watch her channel. I really like her. And she's got a ton of pieces, finished pieces. So anyway, Jen, if you watched this video, thank you. I loved everything in the package. It was so nicely done, and I love your videos. Stitching Parlor does the has like 5 Jane Austen pieces. I nabbed Mr. Collins one off of Stash and Load like over a year ago, and I was super happy to nab Rosine's this time around. I think this one is even prettier. Someone on Stitch Mania stitched this. Remember, they had pretty regular posts. I think it was Stitch Mania, unless it was Instagram. But this is really pretty. Got that one, a Stash and Load. See you guys, a lot of stuff here. This is from eBay, the Wyndham Needlewoman. I love that. I love the picture. You can stitch it on anything with anything. So I hope to do that one fairly soon. It's not cross stitch. It's all back stitched. I mean, I wouldn't call it black work because it's not filled, but yeah. And I love back stitch. Like that one. Okay, so my parents went to go visit family in Switzerland and Italy. My father's heritage from Italy, and my mother is from Switzerland. And she was leaving, and she's like, what do you want? And I always say the same thing, chocolate. And I was like, but this time, I wrote down a little name on a piece of paper. Ingeborg is going to know who this is. I slipped her the piece of paper. I was like, if you find anything by that man, I would love it. That name was Renato Peroline. This guy is amazing. If you don't know his patterns, here's his name. I'll write it on the screen. Look him up. Ingeborg did this beautiful tree, and I've been covering his patterns, but you know, he's Italian. So anywhere over here that sells them, I think Bush Mountain Stitchery sells them. You can get some on eBay. They're just expensive, you know, they're costly. And I figured, well, if she finds them over there, they might be cheaper, and then I don't have to pay for shipping. And sure enough, she found them, and she got me 3 of his patterns. This one is just a tiny one, a little miniature. Not so much me, but it's cute. Might make a cute gift. And then this one's me. This is a Inverno house with trees, a little fence. Not cute. And then I love this. I don't know what this, I'm not going to try to pronounce it. It's something in autumn. And it's another beautiful tree. He has so many beautiful trees, you guys. Love that. And then this, she got me a Madame Chantilly. There's no way she would know this is on my wish list or anything, but she knows I love Halloween, so she got me this cute Madame Chantilly, and this was on my wish list because I think this is adorable. So that was an awesome haul. My mom did some good work. I was so proud. But on that subject, hold on. Where is it? Okay, so like I said, I got kind of obsessed with Renato Perlin, and there are so many beautiful patterns out there, but it's not like you can just go out and buy them all. So, in time. But he has books, and they're not readily available here. They're not published in America or in English. But if you've ever been on the website Abe Books, it's basically connected to booksellers around the world, and they sell a lot of used books. And I found they've got some of his books on there, but you're buying them from like France and Germany and stuff, so the shipping's expensive. This was still when I was doing Stitch from Stash. But the cost of the book plus the shipping, I want to say, came out to about $35 or $40, so not cheap. But there's a bunch of patterns in it, and I just could not say no. And I had the budget for it, so I bought it. And I don't know how to pronounce this. It's written in French and Italian, and it's scenes from different parts. It's a bunch of different like building type patterns from the different parts of, I want to say, Italy and France. If you are interested in a flip through, let me know. For now, I will just show a couple to give you an idea. These remind me of Switzerland. I think actually some of these are Switzerland, or at least around the Swiss-Italy border. Stuff like that. Now I'm going to show you one of the patterns. Please don't freak out at me. But I just want to give you an idea because this is not what patterns we're used to. That's a pattern, okay? It's just colors. And then it's DMC. So they're charted for DMC, which is awesome. But it's just colors, and it gives you... Now the patterns I showed you that my mom bought, those are normal patterns with the symbols. But this is tricky because like the trees are a few different shades of green, and the color key, the colors are close to matching of what the DMC is. So when I stitch these, I'm gonna have to like really sit down and take some time to figure it out. So it's that part is a bummer, but I can figure it out, and I think it's worth it. Here's another one. These are just freaking adorable. So again, I could totally go, do a more thorough look at this if you want. I just wanted to give you an idea of what it's like. So I'm really excited about that book. I want to stitch everything in it. This is just a little pattern off eBay, cute one. It's called Amy's Windows. You're supposed to do it on like 3 different pieces of fabric and sew them together. I'm not doing that, but it's just a cute little older pattern I thought was cute. Someone was selling the drawn thread Alpine Garden with all the silks and beads for like $12. I thought it was a really good deal. I love drawn thread. And this one's kitted, so I can actually do it. I just need to find some fabric in my stash, but I think it's so pretty. Gosh, these were like these 3 were $2 each on Stash, and I couldn't say no. This is a miniature Quaker sampler. Crowned Owls, an heirloom sampler. This is Threadwork Primitive Sweet Bird Heirloom Sampler Club. It says, "Sweet bird, thy bower is ever green, thy sky is ever clear, thou hast no sorrow in thy song, no winter in thy year." This is Stash and Low. This is Opus 1 from Long Dog Samplers. Gotta let the dog out. He's already seen the haul, so it's not as exciting for him. Gosh, this is back from Stitch Mania, watching Natalie and Abby and all their Blackbird designs. Agnes Platt's Strawberry Sampler. These were eBay too. Rosy Morning. And The Country Life. Although I think these colors need to be adjusted. But there's a bunch of like birds, butterflies, animals. It's pretty cute. Oh god, this one I was so excited. This is the Queen Sampler Elizabeth I from Plum Street Samplers. Jay stitched this up. This is a beautiful pattern. It's so me. It's like Queen Elizabeth and it's Plum Street Samplers. Like, I had to have this pattern. But it's not that easy to find. So I was like, okay, Olivia, have faith. Put a search on eBay. It came up and it was like up for bidding. And I watched it up until the last minute. And then I won it for $1. Shipping though was like $6. So still $7. Take it. I want to start this one soon. This one I got on eBay. This is a Queenstown sampler design. It's called Aztec Gold Sampler. Might seem a little random, but I was really intrigued by it. I would obviously do this on a different fabric color and probably different thread colors, so I have to really look at them closely. I was thinking I would do these more like maybe like in a Mexican color scheme, but I just think it'd be very interesting. I don't know, it just interests me and I want to do more research. English pups. I just think these are cute. Again, lots of buildings. Been on a building kick. I got a couple cute Nancy Spruance designs. This is the Carson Mansion. I love that. It looks kind of like a haunted mansion, like a Halloween haunted mansion to me. And this is the Gingerbread Mansion. These are real places. This, I think, is like a bed and breakfast. It's just so cute. I had to have it. That same seller was selling a bunch of Debbie Patrick, so I couldn't make up my mind. So in the end, I was like, let's go to San Francisco. And let's go with the Alamo Square. And that's how they look. God, it's so expensive. So expensive. But cute. Gosh, this is super cheap drawn thread, and it's a Shakespeare sonnet, so I went for it. The Marriage of Minds. I think I stitched all of it except the anniversary part, because we're not married. We have an anniversary. 15 years when we go to the Flosstube retreat convention. But, I like that one. This one I really loved. This came up for a really good price in Stash and Load. It's called the Newburyport Sampler. I'm going to take that out of the plastic. I'm going to do it, guys. You're welcome. I don't always do it, but you see it. It's very pretty. I think it's the lion and the stag that really sold me, that little scene at the bottom. There's quite a bit of pink in this. I will likely change that out. It's just my least favorite color. That sounds really pretty. Alright, this one, I have been wanting, this one I might start soon too. I've been collecting the threads for it. I was going to do this on 40 count, and now I'm like a little concerned because the whole coverage question. If I don't like the coverage, I'm going to have to buy twice as much silk. But this is Sampler Cove. I love Sampler Cove. This is Double Dutch. And I found out by my search on the interweb that Julie McConnell herself has this as a whip, or may have finished it. It was like on her blog. But I love it. I love the colors. I love them as charted. You could do any color you want, obviously. There's just 3 colors in this. Gloriana. It's beautiful. And I'm gonna do it. I was going to do that on that 40 count even weave that I hauled last week. It's just white. But yeah, I'm a little concerned about how the coverage is, but I'm going to start this one soon. There's so many big projects. That's alright. Sunflower House from Plum Street showed up on Stash and Load, and I said, why not? And Barrack Samplers West Winds. I think this is cute. I will change the colors a bit. I like it though. That's a lot, guys. Okay. This is a book I just recently was gifted. Kreuzstickmuster aus Graubünden. I think Graubünden is a region of Switzerland. West Switzerland, maybe? This book is from like the late 30s, and my uncle, by marriage, so it's my mother's sister's husband, his godmother, this was her book. And so my mom was over there telling them about, probably asking them who the hell Renato Perelin was. and explained to them that I do cross stitch, they had this book sent over from our last visitor who came over from Switzerland. And it's awesome. It's, first off, it's like a pristine condition, and it's all patterns like this. And I could make awesome pieces out of these, like band samplers and just samplers with motifs. So yeah, it's just chock full. And then there's some bigger pieces in the back. So this is awesome. I need to spend some quality creative time with this thing. So yeah, I'm excited about that. I really like that. So I went to have Angelica framed. It took me a while to just get my act together because I had to, like, you know, make sure she was perfectly ironed. I had to tweeze out all the cat hair. I had to do all of that stuff, and I finally got it together, and I had a day off. I took a day off so I could go, like, get my yearly physical, then run errands, and go to the framer. So I went to this nice framer in Berkeley called, it's called the Framers Workshop. They have a beautiful setup there, and they just have a million choices. It's a really great place, but I had done my research, and online on their website they showed that they have a lot of experience in needlework, and they had the details about how they do the lacing and all of that stuff. So I was like, this is perfect. And I saved up some money to have her framed. I was thinking $200 to $300. It's a lot of money, but it's worth it. So I went in there and we spent some time, and we picked out a frame. Nothing crazy. Okay, I could go crazy, but I didn't. I knew I would, you know, I don't know. Picked out 2 mats. I think they're fabric mats. I know that's expensive. And I picked out a frame that was like a wooden frame. Had a little bit of like gold color to it, but I didn't want anything too tacky. Like, I didn't want it to look tacky, like too much. And then he was typing up the quote, and then he prints out the quote for me, and it's $780. I was like, what? Like, I love my girl Angelica, but I don't have a $780 to spend on framing her. And if I did, I would end up resenting her for the rest of her life. So, I kind of tried, I just played it cool, like, oh, well, I'm gonna go think about it. And he's like, oh, well, our 40th anniversary is coming up, and we're gonna have a big coupon. I was like, oh, how much is the coupon for? And he's like, $40. I was like, wow, $40. And then he said that, like, you know, part of that cost is labor, but that they'll, like, let me do it myself. Like, they'll give me the supplies, and they have, like, a layout there, and I can come and do it myself. And I was like, okay, well, I think I could do that. Like, it's, you know, it's worth it. And then I asked, like, okay, well, how much, you know, deduct for that? And it was like $100 or $150. So needless to say, Angelica did not get framed that day. And I left bummed. But right next door was the Berkeley Public Library bookstore. So I went in there, and I landed some cross-stitch books. Now, I have been very much enjoying Miss Arlene Cohen, okay? I'm sure you guys watch her videos. That girl has got some knowledge. And she's been dropping that knowledge all over us. And I wanted me some of that Arlene Cohen knowledge. So I have been wanting some books. And so I went in there, and they had books. This is, and I got these each, I think they were like $1 to $2 each. This is a gallery of American samplers. I haven't even dug into this one yet. Look at that cover. It's a very nice book. Look at those beautiful colored pictures. I picked up Charted Folk Designs for cross-stitch embroidery. I think Kelly might have this, the Evergreen Needle. Got tons of, like, different bands and patterns. Very cool. 278 charts of ancient folk embroideries from the countries along the Danube. Scandinavian cross-stitch designs, which I love. I love Scandinavian design. Another really nice book. $2. And I picked up American Samplers. I'm actually reading this. Sorry, you always see these tabs. It's like old habit. I'm an English major. Actually, I think there was a part, I tabbed a part that was for Emily about the paintings. Because she's talking about she has that sampler with the painted faces, like the paper faces that you stick in there. It wasn't that helpful though. It was just saying, I guess they just tried, it was just an effort to add some more detail. But this book is interesting. I've been reading it, and it goes through the centuries. I think it's a couple of ladies in a guild, and they put this together. It's all based off, basically, all these different samplers that they were researching. But one hang-up is that it's all black and white. So they're talking about all these different details about these samplers, and it's kind of hard to see them, but you can get an idea. And then also they're constantly referencing the specific samplers, but those samplers don't match up with the page you're reading, so you kind of have to two bookmarks. But other than that, it's really interesting. And there's this huge section that is basically all of the quotes from samplers. So let me look for an example here. These are examples of reflections on death and sorrow. And then they go through chronologically and put the different quotes from all of the different samplers. So in 1731, this one, "My life is a flower, the time it hath to last, is met with frost and shook with every blast." But it's got all of these, and I've been reading through a lot of them, and I recognize some of them from some of the samplers I love, some of the today's patterns. And just got like over 100 pages of that. So there's a good chunk of this book that is just like reference. Like this is all the different samplers. They go through with the name and the year, and they describe it. So there's a lot of pages of that. So I'm not reading exactly the whole book, but really good book. Highly recommend it. American Samplers by Ethel Stanwood Bolton and Ava Johnston Coe. Not the prettiest cover. Well, so that's been interesting. And then at work at my new job, they have this awesome program where once a quarter, each employee can nominate another employee for what's called an Energize Award, for doing something above and beyond or helping them out with something. It's like, and that person gets a $50 Amazon gift card. Well, I was lucky enough to get several, and one of the things I wanted to buy were some books, like I said, influenced by Arlene Cohen. And as you guys, I'm sure, know, on Amazon you can buy used books, and a lot of times some of the less popular ones about embroidery and cross stitch, are often just like, they could be $0 to, I think maybe the most expensive was probably like $5 or $6, and then you also pay shipping, which can be up to $4. So I find usually be like a $6 book with free shipping, or a $0 book with $4 shipping, stuff like that. But these are books I got through Amazon with that gift card. This is a treasury of embroidery designs. A lot of these I haven't really gotten a chance to do much with. This has some designs in it. Like hand charted, right there, sampler. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Looks like this one's black and white. This one is called Plain and Fancy, American Women and Their Needlework. This looks like a library textbook. This is more, I think, my understanding is that it's about like the history that I want to know more about. Library books. No weakness. This one just came like this. This is Embroidered Gardens. This is an old library book too. This one looks beautiful though. It's hard to get books. Let's see, if I find the pretties. Embroidered Gardens. Well, hello. This one Arlene just showed in her last video, or second to last video, so I knew it was on the right track. In Praise of the Needlewoman. This is awesome. I love seeing artwork with stitchers in it, you know, just because it's like, oh, you know, there's stitchers. She shows the funniest picture in hers, Arlene's video. Like, I knew she was, when she started talking about it, I knew what she was talking about, and she showed it. Oh my gosh, it's me. That's me. See? So innocent. My little kerchief. And then the Embroiderer's Story, Needlework from the Renaissance to the Present Day. So I have a lot of reading to do. This is another beautiful book. Beautiful, like, color. Pictures. Wow. So, yeah, excited. I'm gonna be learning stuff. Oh my gosh, guys, I think that's it. That was crazy. Like I said, I'm not ashamed, no regrets, but it was crazy. It is crazy. I know it is. That was like a whole stash just there. What can I say? I have been destashing my other crafts. I am kind of on a mission right now to follow like what I think of as Vanna's husband's rule of the one craft. The rule of the one craft. I gave Jen from Delicious Threads like 4 bags full of quilting cotton fabric that I've collected mostly secondhand over the years, and I had to face I'm never going to use it. I have gotten rid of all my crochet stuff. I wasn't like ton of crocheting, but everything I crocheted was like Afghans and scarves. Nothing wrong with that, but like I knew I was never going to go beyond that. I just didn't have the patience to like learn how to make hats and mittens and all that kind of stuff. So I was like, let's just move on. Focus on the one craft and just let go of the other stuff. I'm a bargain hunter. Just like Becky the Obsessed Stitcher, I'm all about the thrift stores and the garage sales, getting a good deal. So it wasn't like I was losing a ton. And sometimes when these things are like taking up physical space and mental space, it's not worth whatever I spent on them originally. So I've been letting go a lot. I've been organizing my stuff, like as far as cross stitch goes. I have a bunch of stuff I'm gonna put on stash and load. I just need to actually do it. And just focusing more on what I'm interested in and what I like, and that's good. So that change was kind of brought on by a life, I guess, adjustment, a life occurrence. So I'm going to go into that next. That's just a life update, not really stitching related. So a month ago, I came home from work, and I've joked before about how my cat throws up a lot. Not to be graphic, but it was black, and I knew that was bad. And it was digested blood that he was throwing up. I'm sorry if that grosses you out. That's reality. And I brought him into the emergency vet, and they gave him an ultrasound and blood tests, a ton of tests. I was there for a few hours, and they said that it looked like it was cancer. So they said that they would call me the next day with official results, and I brought him home. They could have kept him there, but I wanted him home with me. So I brought him home, and this is the room he lived in, the craft room, and I have a sofa bed in here. So I just pulled that out, and he and I just spent the night cuddling, and I slept in here with him, and then I took the next day off work and spent the whole day with him. And they called, and they confirmed that it was cancer. His spleen, I think. And so they said, let's make an appointment for tomorrow, bring him in and set up an appointment for you and the oncologist to talk about options. Now, I got my cat when he was 2 months old from the pound. I was 23 at the time. I was partier. You know, I love house partier. You know, my friends and I, we were just like always having fun. I lived with 3 roommates. We worked hard, played hard. It was fun life, and I had been wanting my own pet for forever. Like I'm a complete animal person. Okay, like I get animals more than I get humans. And so my first year out of college, one of my 3 roommates ate a cat, so I didn't get a pet. And then she moved out after a year, and I finally adopted my cat. And when I went in, they had like, I don't know, 30 kittens. And most of them were passed out. They were asleep. And mine was just like wreaking havoc, jumping all over them, going crazy. I was like, you know what? I have a feeling that's my cat. We were both kind of at the same stage, you know? And I adopted him, and he was nuts. Like Natalie's cat, Emily. And yeah, he was indoor, outdoor. So he could go outdoor whenever he wanted, and that's how he loved to live. And people always said he's going to live a shorter life if you let him be outdoors. But I knew if he could actually make that philosophical decision, he would choose a life fully lived. So so man, he was a tough cat. He would get in fights a lot. I would have to bring him to the vet every few months and get him patched up for something. I mean, he had some big ones. One Christmas night, it was like he like basically ripped open his armpit. I don't think it was a fight. I think he got caught in a fence or something. I mean, he just put me through the ringer for sure. But him and I were very bonded. To take a term from Emily, he was my soul cat. His name's Holden, by the way. You've probably seen him in another video if you watch my videos. And so over the years, you know, he's gotten older. He was 14. When I got my dog, he was pissed, of course. That was like 8 years ago. But the dog was scared of him. That's just kind of the cat my cat was, and the kind of dog my dog is. After a few years, though, something changed with my dog, and he no longer feared the cats. He wanted to go after him. So I've had to keep the two. I've had to keep the two separated, which is a pain, but we work things out. And a couple years ago, my cat got into something on the outside, and he got really sick, and I decided that was it. I couldn't take it anymore emotionally, financially. I didn't want him to keep getting in trouble, so I made him an indoor cat. He was 12, and he had lived a lot of good times outdoors, so I didn't feel too bad. I definitely felt bad in the beginning, but he got used to it. He was ready to calm down, and then a while back he lost his hearing, so then I knew he was never going back outside because it was too dangerous. And him and I spent all our evenings together. He's my stitching buddy. Because him and the dog can't be together, you know, I would make sure I spent my time with him, and the boyfriend spent the time with the dog. Real romantic, I know, but he was my boy. He was my first pet that was all mine. Really, the only pet I've had that was all mine. I had him, you know, before I lived with my partner. Anyways, my point is, knowing him, I knew that he was not the type of cat that would not enjoy, but it would be too much to put him through chemotherapy, surgery, all the things that would be necessary to keep him alive a little bit longer. And that it would just be for me at that point. So I knew that the best thing I could do for him was to put him down. So when they said, we're going to have you meet with the oncologist, I said, of course, you know, I want to explore my options. I want to know the details. But I knew that I wasn't going to do anything extreme. So I spent that whole day with my cat. And it was a good day, you know. I mean, it wasn't, for me, I was, you know, a mess the whole day mostly, but it was just a lot of cuddling and loving, and that night I slept in here again with him, and it was a weird night. He kept going under the bed, and he didn't really want to, he tried to like lay on top of me like he usually does on his stomach, but he'd have to get up because it's too uncomfortable. By the time I got up in the morning, I could see he didn't look normal, and he was in pain. So I brought him back to the emergency vet, and I told them, I said, I think he's in pain, and they took him back, and they sat me down. They said, look, we can give him a transfusion, and then explore the next options. And I said, look, if you're gonna give him a transfusion just so you can keep him alive, give him surgery and stuff like that, I just don't think that's the best option. I think if he's in pain and he's going to die from this, then it's time to say goodbye. And so I did, and we had him put down. So, sorry guys, it's a long explanation, but that's how it happened. So Holden is no longer here physically. So that was one of the changes that led to, you know, me, I don't know, making physical changes in my craft room with my crafts and all that, because this was his room, and, you know, everything was all of my stuff is in the same room as the cat and the litter box and the food and the water. So because of that, things have always been stuffed away. And now that he's not here, I'm, you know, going through stuff and getting rid of things and letting go of things that I know I'm not going to use and I don't need to keep stuffed in here. And so long story long, sorry. I would trade all of it. You know, you guys know. So if I'm leaving like comments on your Instagram photos of your cats, or like, oh my god, I just want to pet him so bad, don't worry. I'll calm down eventually. I'm not gonna kidnap your cat. I just I realize that none of my friends around me, none of my close friends have cats. And sometimes you really just want that cat to hug, and I miss mine. Sorry. So everything really is for the best. He lived 14 years. He was spoiled. He was very well loved. I was very well loved by him. We gave each other the best of ourselves, and he had a good life. And when it was time for him to go, he went quickly. But yet still gave me enough time to say goodbye. So I'm going to stop the video now. I'm going to add a clip of him onto the end. This was just a couple months ago. I was stitching and watching Flosstube, as him and I usually did in here. And we were watching McKenna's video. And my cat never paid attention to what was on the television. I don't know about your animals. My dog does. If, you know, Loki starts barking, I've got to like pause it and get rid of the dog because he'll go crazy. The cat never cared. But all of a sudden, Irwin shows up on the screen. And it was like, how the hell did that cat get in here? And I'd never seen my cat behave that way, so I turned on my camera. And so I'm going to put that at the end. Thank you guys so much for watching, for sticking with me. I know I rambled a bit there, but that's what it is, right? Hopefully you got some stitching done. Thank you guys so much for all of your support and your wonderful comments. And as usual, I'll try not to be gone as long, but hey, there are so many good videos out there to watch that it's no big deal, right? All right, thanks guys.